like he said already, he went into Deuteronomy 28:16, going into, us being cursed in the city and cursed in the field, as well as these curses being upon us for a sign, right? So this is how we'll be able to identify who we are. Give me verse 32.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
Right, so this is another curse. It's saying our sons and our daughters will be given to another people. Now, ultimately, that happened during our time in captivity or slavery, right? But still to this day, even if you think about statistically, we're the ones that's filling up when it comes down to what it is.
Prison.
No, not prison. With the kids, the child, that thing. Well, I wasn't going there, but that too. But hey, you know what I'm talking about? Somebody with taking our kids, child services. There we go. Child services. CPS. That's what I wanted. CPS statistically, as well as more so the Hispanics at the border, you know what I'm saying, so-called Hispanics, right? It'll be with ICE, taking your children. And then we have, keep reading on that.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long. Right. And there shall be no might in thine hands.
Right, because what would happen if somebody took your kids? You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll be looking and longing for them all the day long. Sad, right? And there's no might in your hands, because once they get in that system, whether it's CPS, whether it's with ICE, or whatever the case may be, or back in those days when we was physically captive, then yeah, there was nothing that we could do about it.
Right.
Once they end up getting sold off to whatever plantation it was, whether it was us, whether it was Johnson, Jackson, whatever, now they got that new name. Or with the so-called Hispanics, when it was Ramirez or whatever name that you would throw there. You know what I'm saying? Once you got shipped off to that plantation, that's it. You don't see your kids no more. But that's more so what that's going into, right? Give me verse number 47. Did you go to 47 already?
I don't know. Let me see. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 47.
Bring it up.
Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
So this going into, like, these curses are upon us because we didn't serve the Lord with joyfulness and gladness of heart, right? Go ahead.
For the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
Right. And that's why these things came upon us. That's why we end up serving our enemies and being subject to captivity, because we disobeyed God. Now, I know it seemed like a harsh thing, as well as I think I heard him bring out saying that we're the people that's supposed to be set on high above all nations of the earth. But this happened to us because, again, when it comes down to it, give me Amos 3:1 real quick. Because, like, none of y'all got kids, huh? All right, so if you was to have kids, let's just hypothetically, if your kids was getting in trouble, like, let's just say you stayed in the country, are you gonna get on everybody in that country? Or just your kid? You gonna send them out and get on them? What would you do? Your kid, right? Because it's not necessarily. But what I would feel like, me personally, it wouldn't be necessarily my place to come like this against somebody else's kid. I don't know how you was brought up, so I deal with mine. But that's the same way how the Lord deals with his chosen people, with the Israelites. Bring that out real quick.
This is the book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 1. Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel, against the whole family, which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known.
I see the Lord said, you only, speaking to the 12 tribes of Israel, the people of Israel, you only have I known. He created everything and everybody on this earth, but he has a chosen people, right? But go ahead.
You only have I known of all the families of the earth. Right. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Right, and that's basically going into what I was saying, and then read that last one. 3.
Verse 3. Can two walk together except they be agreed?
So how can we say that we really walk with the Lord if we're not even doing, like we're not obeying and we're not doing what he asked us to do, right? A lot of people would say they have a relationship with God, but the things that God asks to do, they don't do it, right? And that's why we got these curses. Ultimately, us as a people, we didn't listen. So keep going with that real quick.
Therefore, thou shalt serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
So it's saying we're going to have to serve our enemies, these people that take us captive in want of all things, right? So it doesn't matter what you think about it. It said hunger, thirst, nakedness. So these, are there so-called like black-owned food companies or Hispanic-owned food companies? Yes. But where do they get their stuff from? Let me ask you that. Like, just for them to be able to cook that, like whatever's on their menu, just for them to be able to make that meal or whatever they got, where they got to get it from? Stores, right? But we don't own those stores. Like, it don't matter if it's, well, yeah. But then even when you get the permit, who you got to go to? The government. We don't run the government or these food stores. Whether you think about, like, if you think about big business, you think about like Gordon's, U.S. Foods, Performance, all these big companies, McLean, there's a lot of them, that a lot of these big restaurants like this, they get their food from. Our people don't own none of that. So even if we did have our own business, right, we still got to go to our enemies and want for that. As well as when you think about beverage companies, we don't own none of that. Not even the water that we drink, we don't own none of that. And then it said in nakedness, meaning our clothing, everything we wear. Sure, there are people with their own clothing lines, right, of our people. And you would think that this is ours just because everybody got the same thing on. But ultimately, we bought this in bulk, slapped our logo, slapped our name on it or whatever, and customized, right? We don't own this neither. So we have to serve our enemies in one of all things, and what?
And he shall put a yoke of iron up on thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Right, so a yoke of iron, just like this image right here, a physical yoke of iron. And you can't name another people that happened to except our people that had the yoke of iron upon their neck, was treated like, what you call it, chattel slavery, right?
Right.
So, was that it? Yeah, the yoke of iron upon your neck until you have destroyed these. So they destroyed us physically, you know what I'm saying? And now, we're still today, like, captive by way of the mind, right? So, it's like, when you're dealing with a dog, you're training a dog or something like that. If you're using the shock collar after so long of, putting that shock collar on his neck and hitting that button, whatever you're trying to get it not to do, it's not going to do it no more. Now it's programmed. And now us as a people have been programmed, right? And the knowledge that we lost, bring that up.
God, this is the book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thy children.
Right, so it says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. That's why we were ultimately destroyed, because our knowledge is what? Our knowledge is in the Lord. All our knowledge should come from the Lord, and that's keeping his ways, his laws, statutes, and commandments, right? So, get that in Deuteronomy 4 real quick, King. But, so with that being said, I can go all day with these curses. You see that we was cursed. We as a people was cursed in the city, cursed in the field, right? That we were having to serve our enemies in the land that we don't know and subject to them in every which way. And that said that happened to the Israelites, right? Like, do y'all identify with that happening with y'all people? So, if you, what would you say that your God get the nationality? We know that these persons are supposed to be on these people who lost their heritage for a sign to be able to identify who they are, and the signs fit you. And who would that make you? For both of y'all, ultimately. You don't know? Curse? But who was the curses on? What was the people that did, right? So that would make y'all what? Right.
That's right.
Y'all be Israelites, right? So just knowing that, y'all heard what I said and why we got in this situation. So what do y'all think we have to do? Like, how do we please God? Right.
So, you know, like reading your Bible, going to church, that's, you know, that's amazing. You know, like I go to, for my church, we go around, like, just praying for people, giving, you know, giving back to the community.
Right.
And, but also, like, you can go to church and pray for the follower of Jesus Christ, but not have a relationship. And I trust that relationship will get you to heaven, not all the time just religion. Because like it says, there's man-made religions. I feel like they made religions to split us apart. And it even says that back in like the Old Testament, which I'm kind
Give
of
me
reading.
Titus 1:16 and James 1:27. Go ahead, though.
I would read a little bit back on it with my dad, and we just see that, you know, religion split up people a lot, and I don't think that's the aim point. Yes, I do believe, like, read your Bible, read what God tells you what to do, you know, but I think a lot of people tend to kind of just have that, like, pride to show how good of a Christians they are, and it's just like, that's not the way, you know. God doesn't. So I really believe, like, your relationship with God is, that's what's gonna get you there, and obeying God, like you said, doing what He said. And that's why I think, like, yes, we have the curse, but that's what Jesus came down for. That's what He came here for, was to help us, like, to forgive us for our sins. And even though we have those curses, we can still make it go to heaven at the end of the day with Him, you know.
So with that part with Christ, I'm gonna touch into that. But first, with the first two things that you said, I agree with you as far as the religion, you know, manipulating or, you know, manipulating the Bible and making it something that is not. Because the Lord said what He said. It is what it is. Who are we to change it, right? And then as well as to having a relationship, right? So grab this first.
It's the book of James, James chapter 1 and verse 27. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this.
Right, so this is what the Bible is saying that pure religion is. This is what religion is. Go ahead.
To visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world.
Just 1 second. It's just bad. Alright, my bad. Yeah, bring it out again.
James chapter 1 verse 27. Pure religion and undefiled before God and the Father is this, to visit the fatherless and widows in their affliction, and to keep himself unspotted from the world.
Right. So to visit the fatherless and the widows, like you said, like, you know, they ain't there like give back or whatnot, you know what I'm saying, to your people, as well as be unspotted from the world, which will ultimately mean that you'll be godly, living righteously, right? But that's what pure religion is. But God didn't give us religion, He gave us a heritage, right? So bring this out real quick. You got it? Now, Titus 1:16.
It's the book of Titus chapter 1 and verse 16. They profess that they know God.
Right. So that's what you're going into. It was some people that they are profess that they know God, but what?
But in works they deny him.
Right. So in works they deny Him, because ultimately, if you love Him, you will show Him that you love Him. Like, let me give you this.
What you got?
Give me the love. First John.
First John.
God, this is the book of 1 John, chapter 5, and verse number 2. By this we know that we love the children of God when we love God and keep His commandments.
So that's what love is, because ultimately love will be an action word, right? I couldn't say I love a person and I'm constantly mistreating them, getting over on them, you know, finessing them, whatever the case may be, right? Like, it's more so of an action word, right? You got to prove that you will love somebody. It's the same with God. True love is us obeying Him, keeping His laws, statutes, and commandments. So again, a lot of people know, especially in the church, the same scripture that comes out constantly. That Proverbs 3 and 5. Lean not on your own understanding. that reigns true. You got to lean on the understanding of what God said. But finish that real quick. Verse.
But in works they deny him, being abominable and disobedient, and to every good work reprobate.
Right. So they deny him by way of their works. Right. So your works would be not just like it's a beautiful thing to do charity, you know, give back love to your people or whatever. But that's not just what they're going into. It's not just how you would treat another person. It's not just like being nice. It'll be doing what God asks of you. So give me Deuteronomy 10 and 12 real quick.
I got you. It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel, what does the Lord thy God require of thee?
Right, so it's saying, and now Israel. So it's talking to the people. The people, not the landmass, because it was a people before it was a landmass. So it's saying, now Israel, what does the Lord require of you, right? Go ahead.
But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes which I command thee this day for thy good.
Right, so it's saying we got to keep the commandments of the Lord. We got to fear God, right? We got to be obedient to him. We got to serve him, right? And the fear of God, like, what you'll realize once you get in there and you really start reading the Bible, every topic that you can dang there think about is pointing in the same direction. Even if you go to the fear of God, bring that out real quick.
There's the book of Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 15. They that fear the Lord will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways.
And it's saying the same thing that he just brought out in John and the same thing that was just brought out in Deuteronomy 10. So with that being said, knowing for us to come, go ahead.
Verse 16. That gets going. All right. They that fear the Lord will seek that which is well pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law.
Right, so filled with the law, right? Keeping his commandments, being obedient to him. That's ultimately what the fear of God is. That's how you show him that you love him. That's how you show that you have a relationship with God, all of the above. So, do y'all know any commandments off the top of y'all head? Any one of them.
Isn't there one like you said what? No adultery. No adultery.
Right.
That's one.
Love your neighbor as
Right. I mean, yeah, that's also a commandment.
Speech.
Nah,
that's the law of the land. We talking about the laws of the Most High God.
Nah, that's not in the Bible. But y'all, look, y'all both gave a good answer. So let me give y'all three commandments real quick that y'all may not know, right? So off the top,
11. Leviticus 11.
all right, start from the top.
We wanted Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 7.
Bring it out.
Okay. Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 1. And it reads, And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them, Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth.
Right, so he says, speak to y'all, speak to the children of Israel and let them know that this is basically your dietary law. This is what you can and can't eat. So Leviticus 11, you read the whole thing, it goes into what you can and can't eat. But we're just gonna get into the main ones that our people eat and consume that we shouldn't, right? Go ahead, bring it up.
Verse 7. And the swine, though he divide the hoof and be cloven-footed, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
Right, so what is swine? Pig, right? Go ahead.
God, verse 8. Of their flesh shall ye not eat, and their carcass shall ye not touch. They are unclean to you.
Right, so that's a clear commandment from God. So do y'all eat pork?
I choose not to. Like my family does, but I don't really eat it. Like if they make bacon, I'll eat. Like I don't really eat it that much. I'm not a fan of it either.
What about you?
My stomach too sensitive.
Okay, well, hey man, maybe the Lord made you that way. You know what I'm saying? For a reason. You know what I'm saying? But now, with that being said, like, you should want to, like, will you abstain from it, knowing what you know now? All right, and then as far as the bacon, I mean, turkey bacon, alright, you know what I'm saying?
Beef bacon,
but
better.
they have beef bacon, right? And that's the thing, and it tastes. If you're looking for it to taste like very similar with the pork, it has the same flavor, but it tastes better, in my opinion, right? So, all praise it. That brother already don't eat that. You saying that you're gonna abstain from it, right? What else?
Come. All right. Leviticus 11 and verse 9. These shall you eat of all that are in the waters.
All right. So before he bring it out, what y'all think? What can we eat that's in the water? All right.
No shrimp.
Look at it. All right. What else?
No crab.
You saying no? Well, we can't. You saying that we can't? Now I'm asking. Like, you saying that we can or can't eat octopus?
Can we can?
No.
We can. Oh,
Oh
no more
man,
seafood.
that's crazy.
No.
I didn't expect octopus to be on the.
But she said something. What a lot of people tend to think is, okay, so damn, we can't eat seafood? No. Because when we first say seafood, we automatically think shrimp, crab, lobster, because that's all our people eat out of the waters. So you can eat seafood, but you can't eat the crustaceans that's in the sea. It's real important to understand. Go ahead. Right, so verse
he
9.
gonna read it for you so y'all see. It's not just us talking. Don't take it from us, take it from the Bible, right? Bring it up.
So Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 9. These shall ye eat of all that are in the waters, whatsoever hath fins and scales in the waters, in the seas, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat.
Right. So whatever have fins and scales, so fish. That's it. No catfish. Catfish don't have scales. Right? You gotta have fins and scales, not fins or scales, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. And all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the rivers, of all that move in the waters, and of any living thing that is in the waters, they shall be an abomination unto you.
Right. So everything else that's in there besides fish having fins and scales is abominable, and we're not supposed to eat, right? And you can look at it from both spectrums, because it's like with the pork and with the things that are in the water, God said it, so it should just be cut plain to the point. I'm not gonna deal with that no more, right? But on the other hand, if you look at it like carnally, those things just mess up our health. You know what I'm saying? Cholesterol and diabetes and so many other diseases that it produces from highly consuming that, right? And we ultimately keep eating it because it's so cheap. Because we're people that's not really set up on high, right? You know, in this current estate, right? So it's like we got to get what we can. It's a few of us that might live in some of these high rises or something like that, but the majority of our people as a whole, we're in the hoods, right? We gotta get what we can. But even knowing that, regardless of your circumstances, you gotta want to stand on 10 for God, right?
That's right.
So, all right. So that was ultimately one with the dietary, right? Get two more, and then I'm gonna get somebody to get y'all a flyer. All right. So yeah, bring that up.
It's the book of Exodus, chapter 35, and verse 2. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord.
Right. So 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day it's a day of rest. What's the 7th day of the week? Right. Saturday. And then when does the day begin? So if you know that the 7th day is a day of rest, when does the day begin? So how do you know how to start your Sabbath? Sunrise. Got that?
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day.
Okay, so it says the evening and then the morning was the first day. Because ultimately the first day started in darkness. Light was created in the middle of the day. So they knew it was a new day when the sun went down. So knowing that, the Sabbath begins Friday at sundown. So we'll be in the Sabbath right now until tomorrow at sundown, right? So knowing that, will y'all be able to, put y'all best foot forward to try to do that for the Lord? That's what I'm talking about. All right. So one more. What you got for me?
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse 38.
Bring it up.
Speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations.
Right. So fringes. If you look at every brother around here, that's what these things is hanging around our shirt, right? Fringes. And it says, speaking to the children of Israel, not just the men, like it's the whole congregation. So men and women should be wearing these fringes, right? And it says throughout your generations. So not just when this was written, it's talking about as long as y'all generating kids on the earth, you should be wearing this, right? This is y'all heritage. This is what you should be wearing. Go ahead.
Time, reading on. And that they put upon the fringe of borders a ribbon of blue, and it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it and remember all the commandments of the Lord,
Right.
and do them.
Right. So that's what it's for. It's a visual aid for you to be able to, remember the commandments of the Lord, and not just remember them, but do them, right? And ultimately, like you see, the brother right here, his are like golden. The fringes, they can be any color, but the ribbon, it has to be a ribbon of blue. So it doesn't matter if it's navy blue, royal blue, sky blue, whatever. But like my wife, she tends to have it, every man that has a wife out here, basically, they tend to have theirs like a long skirt or a long dress and have it at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And us men, we have it at the bottom of my shirt. I mean, do y'all think that that's something that y'all can do if y'all had a way to be able to put it on there? Because don't everybody have a sewing machine, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, well that's what I'm talking about. Well, do you know how to sew? Mom? Oh, okay, what's it? You got it right there, right?
I'm crazy.
So, yeah, with that, the brother right here got a flyer, you know what I'm saying? Good talking to y'all. And before y'all go, real quick, what's y'all nationality? Oh man, nah. All right, so you could go get the flyer, and then he gotta stay up here like another 15 minutes. Cause he ain't hear nothing I just said. He looking like, oh man, you're an Israelite, brother. That's what we was teaching you. Not a Mexican, because you don't find Mexican in the Bible.
Right. It's a
and that's
Bible.
not your God-given nationality. But ultimately, like I said, we was trying to tell you, we the same people. Me calling myself black, you calling yourself Mexican is separating us, and we the same people. But let that stick with you, man. Good talking to you. All right, y'all take it easy.